Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay, so I was guided to look at the split. I'm not surprised because I was feeling the energy before I started recording. Okay, we've got happy family and angel of love. Happy family is that happy family energy. It's regardless of kids, like if you want kids or don't, have kids or don't, whatever it is, ultimately the energy of this card is that happy energy between um two people, like romantically. And then we've got angel of love, which is unconditional love. Um, and so it's ultimately, I feel like this has been coming up quite a bit for the collective recently, is like this is a desire that this collective has tapped into and now desires, is to have that, that person at home that you can talk to, or, just your life partner, roller coaster buddy, whatever you want to term it. Alrighty, let's see here. Okay, so what's fully going on, Spirit? Ooh, okay, we've got the orphaned card. So this card is feeling really alone. It's very much, yeah, it's feeling misunderstood in a crowd. Fates, okay. So just like on the imagery here, it's kind of it's lonely, it's gray, it's not, it's just feeling alone. In this, what the way that I take this is like there's still a part of you, even if you're in a crowd of people that you know and you've been friends for a while and they know you, but then there's like a part of you that feels unknown to those people. And sometimes this could be like if you're still in the spiritual closet and you're not talking about spiritual things and you don't really have friends who are into spirituality and stuff like that, or, conspiracies or whatever it is. So that can be an aspect of it. There is also an aspect that's really coming through for a few of you. Some of us carry a core soul frequency that is just, it's very different than most people around us. And so you kind of walk through life always just feeling a little different and never fully understood, never fully seen, never fully appreciated for some of these qualities that sometimes you can't even really name. It's just a frequency thing. It's an energy thing. Um What's interesting here is we've got the fourth chakra, which is the heart, and this governs love, right? So unconditional love is going to sit in the heart space. And then we've got the fates. And so what I'm getting here is there is a connection that does have unconditional love. You are connected to this person in the heart space, whether you've met this person or not. I feel like some of you have, and then maybe some of you haven't yet. But this is definitely a fated connection. And so what that means is your soul and this person's soul, before you incarnated, decided that you were going to meet at some time in this lifetime. And then you have, oftentimes, you'll have a soul contract. So if it's like, let's say, a romantic partner, you'll meet them and there will be that potential, but we have human free will. So we get to determine what we do with that connection. For some of you, yeah, for some of you, that is the connection that's coming back around in a different form. And that was the person that you were around where you didn't feel like you were completely alone. There was something about this person that made you feel seen, heard, understood on a deeper level, on a level that you almost can't really explain. It kind of defies words. It really does. It's just this sense of belonging or a sense of home in another person that you've never experienced before. If you have not experienced that yet, this is coming in to tell you to continue on the journey, continue doing what you've been doing, continue to allow, continue to know that it is for you, because this is coming into alignment for you now. So if you haven't met this person yet, I'm I was gonna say be on the lookout, but don't be on the lookout because that's pushing it away. When you're looking for something, then you're noticing the absence of it. So it's kind of tricky. But it's that energy of like you'll hear a lot of people who meet like their person and they'll be like, I wasn't even looking for love. I wasn't even looking for this. And then I just met this person. Um and I relate to this actually. This has happened to me before. And it's just like, you're just kind of living life and then something happens and it leads to this thing and then all of a sudden you meet, the love of your life or, you know, your other half, whatever you want to term it. So yeah, if you have not met this person, just keep doing your thing. Keep focusing on the fact that you know you deserve that type of bond with somebody. And it doesn't have to be romantic, by the way. This could be platonic. This could be like a best friend situation or like the perfect business partner, something like that. Just keep going about your business and like know that that is for you. You are worthy of that and you're worthy of it because you're desiring it. You wouldn't be desiring something that you're not worthy of. So, just continue to know that. And then can go about your business and it will happen. Trust in the universe to make it happen. If, and the message is different, if, and this is very specific, this thread of energy has been coming through quite a bit. If you know who this person is, you already met them, and you are being called to reconnect with them, that's going to be different guidance. So follow that guidance. Okay. And there's more than just one person on the planet that you can connect with that makes you feel seen, appreciated, understood, etc., etc. So keep that in mind too. It's not like if you miss this one person, first of all, what's meant for you isn't going to miss you. There's divine orchestration in some of these things. So remember that, trust in that. And then also know that there are other people. They might be scattered around the world. Maybe you'll, connect with them online somehow, and then maybe you travel and then meet up with them. Or maybe they travel and meet up with you, at your home location or whatever. Maybe you decide to go on a retreat together and meet at a retreat, something like that. There's a lot of people that are coming together now that are more like-minded. So just know that if you're in that energy where it's just like you feel alone, you feel like nobody really around you completely understands what you're going through, so on and so forth, just know that there are other people out there that do get it. Okay, so we've got to be fair. This is balancing out a situation. Okay. For some of you, yeah, you're being called to balance out. I'm laughing because this is very it's the same thread of energy that's been coming through. It's you're being called to balance out the situation with the person that you know is fated for you. Um um Let me see if I get anything off this card. Anything else? Hold on. So I kind of felt into it and then was asking some questions to the guides and the divine. And I could feel it in the energy. I call it the counterpart turn. Um, Basically what happens in the energy is there'll be like a few threads of energy that come through, a few different ways to kind of interpret the energy. Then it starts narrowing in and gets really specific. So, this might actually be a full-blown counterpart reading. Um, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Um, in that sense though, it's one of these things like bringing balance back to the situation is going to help you find balance in other areas of life as well. Um, it's also, yeah, it's just talking about like things coming into balance. And so if you've been going through like a really hard time, dealing with a lot, going through a lot of shit, there's there's relief coming. It's like things are balancing out in other areas of life as well. And for some of you, it's as a result of balancing out this one situation with this person that is going to bring balance in other areas of life as well. Third chakra. That's solar plexus. Okay. There it is. All right. Okay. So this is the solar plexus. This is it sits at the belly button. The color's yellow. It has to do with confidence and willpower. It's blocked by shame. So you could have been working through a lot of shame lately, and really releasing that energy and understanding that that is not your actual energy, regardless of what life has done, um, what's happened, so on and so forth. That doesn't define who you are in this now moment. That doesn't define who you are from this point moving forward. And so it's really releasing that shame and really understanding that you were operating from a different place when some of those things happen. Because I'm getting that there's things that happen that you're not proud of. And guess what? Pretty much everybody has those types of things. So it's okay to release it. You don't have to allow that to be your story anymore. It's not about rejecting it. It's not about pretending it didn't happen. It's about accepting the fact that it did and not beating yourself up for it anymore. And just being like, you know what? I it is what it is. I operated from a different place. I did things I'm not proud of, and now I'm more aware and I've integrated some of these things, and I'm not going to allow that to continue to be the story I tell myself, to continue to be the reasons I'm holding myself back from aligning with something. I just heard magical. Um I mean, yeah, it is. It is. If you really want to get down to it, magic is what science hasn't caught up to yet. Magic is what science doesn't have the ability to explain yet. Something like, oh my gosh, my throat is just doing a thing. There's blocked communication in this energy. Okay. Because my voice was not doing this until I started recording. All right, anyhow. Um, if you think about the soul connection you have with this person, the things that you're experiencing when it comes to the signs, synchronicities, the dreams, the whatever it is that you're getting, because you're getting signs and synchronicities about this person. It just is what it is. It defies logic. It defies what we can put into a scientific logical box. So therefore it is magical in that sense, if you look at it from that lens. And so, yeah, it is magical. So it's one of those like releasing this shame and allowing yourself to know that this is something that you absolutely can have, that you are deserving of, is is a huge part of this process. It really is. And I feel like you're kind of like maybe you're in the midst of this or you're kind of on the other side of this. I don't feel like you're just now starting to process through some of this stuff. If you are, that's okay. The main energy I'm feeling is like you've already been doing things. Maybe you wouldn't term it that way, like, oh, I've been releasing shame, but it's one of those like doing the internal work and understanding what caused you to behave in a certain way, what caused a certain situation to happen, what caused you to align with different types of people and different situations and so on and so forth. That is a part of this. And so it's one of these things that this stuff has been coming up and you've been releasing it, regardless if you would actually term it as, I've been looking at wounds and blocks in the solar plexus and releasing them. You're still doing this, whether you would term it that way or not. Um, rest and rejuvenation. Where this landed was on the to be fair in the fates card, and what I'm getting is if you've been finding it difficult to rest and rejuvenate, bringing balance to the situation is going to help you actually rest. Um, there is this call of like allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to rejuvenate, put, healthy things in your body, get out and, get out in nature, those kinds of things where it's like you're reestablishing the connection with yourself and really connecting with divine stuff. The divine itself, it could be, other beings. It depends. Depends on what you're working with. So it's really allowing yourself to connect with yourself, with your higher self, with the divine, with other beings, and pulling into the now moment and allowing yourself to rest and focusing on, and it's not just your physical body, it's your energetic body as well. So it's mental health stuff, it's emotional health stuff, and it's spiritual health, spiritual hygiene, that kind of stuff. So it's all of the things. That's where sounds like I have a fucking cold right now. Hold on. I'm telling you, my voice was not doing this and my nose was not doing this before I started this reading. Okay. Anyhow, we're gonna get through it, damn it. So yeah, it's really about listening to your body, listening to your energy system, listening to the guidance, and doing what you're being asked to do when it comes to rejuvenating your energy system. Oh, interesting. That's why I was going on a whole tangent. Okay. I was like, I'm rambling about this, but here it is. This is what Spirit was leading me to. There is something here where also by you balancing out the situation, it's going to regenerate you in a way that I don't fully think. I feel like you can kind of taste it a little bit. Like if you were to think about what it would feel like on the other side of this, when you're, reconnected with this person, because it's like a reconciliation energy that's coming through. So it's one of these things like when you're on the other side of that like reconciliation and you visualize it going perfectly and amazingly and all is well, and you're on the other side of that like awkward energy, like that initial reconnection, reconciliation energy, you're on the other side of that, you can kind of start to taste like how that would feel. And the thing is, and what Spirit's telling me is like, you can imagine it and it's still going to take you by surprise the way that you are going to feel on the other side of this. It's like, I mean, it's completely like this regenerative energy that just flows through you. Um, okay. Contract and walking away. Okay. Really quick, the yin yang card is the soulmate, high level soulmate, divine counterpart, twin flame, whatever journey you're on, whatever labels you resonate with. It's indicating that it's a very high level soul connection, and it landed on the orphan card. And so, yeah, for some of you, when you met this person, there was this it was this energy between you. It was probably unspoken of. It was probably maybe you only thought that maybe you thought that you were the only one that felt this way. This was a mutual thing. It's one of these things like it's hard to explain. It's just, oh fuck. It's like everything feels right in the world for a minute. And it's just like that's my person. Like this is the person who gets me, who understands me, who I can fully be myself around with no, harsh judgments. There's not that harsh critique energy. It's just very different. And of course, it depends on when you met this person and where you at on your journey and everything else. And so there might have been some unconscious dynamics between you two, some like, you know, I'm hearing immaturity, so that could be something as well. Um, could be stuff like that. So of course there could have been some stuff, in the connection. But it's just this energy thing that you feel with this person. You don't feel alone. And it's and it's it's not like the energy of another person being in the same room with you and now you're not alone. It's fully being like seen, understood. It's an energy thing. It's really hard to explain. But if you're here and you're watching this and you're resonating with this, you understand what I'm trying to like articulate, because it's a feeling, it's an energy, it's kind of defies words. So, okay, I'm gonna sit with these cards really quick and see what the message is. Give me just a second. Okay, so message I'm getting here is, and it explains why I had to pause it for a minute. So I was like, there's something here that's coming through that It's heavy. I'll just be honest, it's heavy. So there's this energy of walking away from a soul contract, and that's part of where the shame is coming in. Um, Here's the thing, like, did you know? You know what I mean? Like, did you have the language and the understanding at that time to realize what it is you were walking away from? Was it because I'm getting, okay, so I'm getting that this walking away energy was triggered by unhealed wounds. So it wasn't that you didn't like this person, it wasn't that you didn't want to be with them. It was a lot of subconscious shit that came up and got in the way. And then there's third party stuff that I just heard. Okay. Third parties can be just anything that interferes in a relationship. So it doesn't have to be another person. It could be, job, lifestyle, limiting beliefs, subconscious programming, wounding, et cetera, et cetera. It could be living locations. It could be all sorts of shit. Um, so it's one of these things. It's like take, do your best to not hold on to that because especially if you didn't know what was going on. Because a lot of times when we encounter this energy for the first time, we don't fucking know what hit us. We don't know that the person, well, yeah, sometimes you know a little bit, right? It's that energy of like, this is my perfect person. This is, whatever. And then you're waiting for the other shoe to drop or whatever. And here comes the subconscious shit, right? Here comes the unprocessed, unhealed shit. That's what a lot of these connections do. They trigger that unhealed shit to bring it to the surface so that you can heal it, integrate it, and tap into, your fullness, your full self. So, to be easy on yourself. And understand, like, if this is coming back around now, there's a reason for it. And this has come up quite a bit. And so it's one of these things like, yeah, move through that. If you're feeling a certain way about, because I can feel it, and I'm hearing a divine masculine kind of talking about it. And it's one of those things that's like, yeah, maybe there was a part of you that knew that I just heard heaven sent. Okay, so maybe there was a part of you that knew a little bit when you first met this person or when you really connected with this person that this was a person that you could have something meaningful, substantial, and long term with. Whatever happened, happened. And and then you were put into physical separation. I can feel that in the energy. And then, now you're not talking to this person. If you are talking to them, it's very surface level. It's not You're not talking about the deeper connection. You're not talking about this aspect of it. Like you're not talking about soul connection and you're my perfect person and I still desire you. You're not having that conversation yet. I feel like that's what you're being guided to do with this balancing it out energy. And it's just releasing that shame around it and understanding, and there could be guilt too. And so it's understanding that if you knew beforehand what was going on in the entirety of the situation, you would have acted differently, but you didn't. And sometimes that's by design. So remember that as well. So it's one of those like do your best to move through what it's bringing up in you, process what it's bringing up in you, and then shift back into that energy of like what's meant for me isn't going to pass me by. It's one of those things like the divine will bring this connection back around in divine timing when the energy is back in alignment. And so sometimes that takes a long time, sometimes it's a few months, it just depends on when you meet this person and what's going on and life choices and this and that and the other. But ultimately, you have a soul contract with this person. There is unfinished business here. And so you and your person are both being drawn to each other right now for a reason. So remember that. So regardless of what happened in the past, it's one of those, at some point, if you have a reconciliation with this person, you're going to have to go back there at least a little bit and kind of clear it up a little bit so it's not the elephant in the room. Then from there, it's one of those, okay, pull into the now moment. Now, what do we do from this point forward? So, keep that in mind as well. So I had to pause it for a minute and blow my nose again. There's definitely communication energy that is like asking to flow. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. Indecision to the sea. Okay. This indecision of doing it or how to. It's a little different. Okay, well, that's good at least. So I'm getting that this is actually indecision on how to go about doing this. I don't feel like you're as much debating, like, am I going to do it? Am I not? I feel like you're at this point of like, okay, how do I go about this? The message here is the how is this card. That's to the sea. It's going with the flow. So confirmation. Okay. The thing is it's one of those like, uh, I mean, it's the energy of like, just do it, just do it. Um, but I get it. Like I understand from the human level why it's difficult because there's in your mind there's a lot riding on the communication. And I just heard communication has never been my strong suit. It's not exactly how you communicate, it's that you are communicating. It doesn't have to be perfect and polished and sound like some elaborate thing. It's the fact that are you, being authentic? Are you allowing yourself to be vulnerable when the time comes? Are you allowing yourself to take those action steps forward? Are you allowing yourself to just communicate? It's not necessarily, again, it's not like do your best not to put so much pressure on yourself because I can feel the amount of pressure you're putting on yourself when it comes to this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be the exact perfect time. It doesn't have to be the exact perfect temperature outside and the perfect, the sun has to be in a certain place in the sky or the moon does or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, do your best not to focus on all of these little things that you feel like need to be perfect because that's not the thing that is a big deal. The biggest thing right now is for you to take that action and allow yourself to communicate. And so it doesn't have to be perfect, polished. If it's one of those okay. I just heard a masculine say that this person is the one who can make them okay. Ultimately, it's basically like this might be the person that gets you tongue tied where you want to communicate with them, but then at the same time, there's a part of you that's like, the moment I start talking to this person, I'm gonna like clam up or get tongue tied or I'm not gonna be able to say it or whatever. And the thing is, um, oh, is it actually gonna open it up and flow? Okay. So, Spirit's coming through with an interesting message here. When you allow yourself to communicate with this person, the energy dynamic between you two it actually might have the opposite effect. So if you are feeling like you're gonna get tongue-tied or not be able to speak or something like that, it's actually I just saw a really funny thing. So if your feminine is really good at communicating and you know that, however you would know that, I just saw a flip. And so this might be a situation where you start talking and then all of a sudden all of those words come to you. Everything that you want to say comes to you and you're able to actually articulate it very, very well. And then the feminine is the one that gets tongue tied. So understand that this is something that happens especially when you're talking this type of a connection, sometimes those energy dynamics will flip. And then all of a sudden, it's like, the person that's normally really good at communicating all of a sudden is like, hold on, I got to find my words. And then the person who feels like they're not good at communicating, it just flows. So if you're really worried about that, just don't be because okay, Spirit's telling me when the time comes for this all to flow, with the to the C card with the flow state. energy here. When it is time for this, things that feel like they might be blocks or something like this, it's going to be removed and you are going to be able to actually articulate what it is that you are desiring to say. I'm seeing another thing, and this might just be a tip. It just, take it if it's for you. Um, Basically, I'm seeing like having some bullet point notes written down on a piece of paper and like, okay, I want to make sure I address this. I want to make sure I address this. I want to make sure I address this. And so you could like if you're going to communicate with this person, you could have like a little, you know, set of notes where it's like, I want to make sure I talk about these things. And I don't want to get, sidetracked on these other topics or anything else. I want to make sure that we talk about these particular things. And then from there, if the conversation flows to whatever, cool. And so maybe do something like that where you've got it kind of like written down so you can kind of look at it and just be like, okay, we talked about this, we talked about this, and then this is the thing that, we haven't talked about yet. And I want to make sure that we get to this before, we go about our business or whatever. Um, so maybe look at doing something like that, and that could really help, even if it's in person, like, you know, shit, I would do it. Have my little notes and be like, it is what it is, dude. I want to make sure that we don't fucking skip over a couple of these things. Um, so, it's again, this is about tapping into your authenticity, tapping into your full self. And if you are in that energy of your full self and you're being vulnerable and this and that and the other, that's really when you're going to, I feel like you're really going to have this beautiful flow of energy between you and this person. And so it's allowing yourself to, pull out of your head a little bit and just go with it and just see what happens. Because again, if it's meant to be, it will be. If you and this person are really here's the reality of the situation. If you and this person are being called together to come together to do life together, which is what I feel like you're desiring, if that's the case, something like a stutter when you're talking or fumbling over your words or having a thing of notes, that's not going to, repel this person. So just remember that. Um, the sun, yeah, you're being given a new beginning here when it comes to this situation. Um, for some of you, the soul contract has like been rewritten between you and this person. So if you did walk away from this person and it's been a while since you've communicated with them, seen them, whatever, and then all of a sudden they're coming back up into your awareness and you're thinking about them all the time. You can't get them off your head. You're dreaming about them. You're seeing signs about them everywhere, synchronicities. You're hearing their name. You're hearing songs that remind you of them. You're seeing, animals that you associate with this person, whatever it is. You're getting bombarded basically by the universe with signs and synchronicities when it comes to this person. There could be an element here where there's a soul contract that has been reestablished between you and this person, and so that's something else to understand too. Like that happens and it's kind of weird, but it happens. And so it's one of those like what I'm seeing for some of you is like you and your feminine got to a certain point on your journey, and then it's one of those with because it's all energetics, it's all vibration. And so with the vibration that you two are in and with the like projected direction you both are consciously choosing to go at this point, your higher selves could have come together and been like, hey, you think we could bring this around for round two? And then it's like, yes, and so that could have been what happened as well. Give me just a second. I'm getting a vision. Hold on. Okay. So I paused it because the vision that I was getting is a vision I've gotten. It's a similar vision that I've gotten for myself. So I was making sure, like, is this for the collective or is this something different? Um, it's for the collective. So, hey, hey. Um, all right. So the vision that I got, putting visions into words sometimes is tricky. So give me a second. Okay. So basically what it was The feminine in this dynamic went through a full-blown spiritual awakening probably quite a while ago at this point, like when we're looking at linear time. And they were, doing their thing, listening to the guidance, connecting with source, doing internal work, so on and so forth. Then it's going to depend. For some of you, your feminine might have done something like asked for their counterpart or their masculine to join them on the path. And then guess who went through their own version of an awakening and connected with source in their own way. And then what happens when that happens is in the quantum realm when somebody wakes up, this is really quantum. Okay. When somebody goes through an awakening and then comes online, there will be like energy that goes out to some other people, like soul family, other people. It's like these calls kind of go out in the quantum realm. Like, hey, this one's online, hey, this one is coming online. They could use some assistance. It's like kind of, yeah, it's weird. But ultimately what I'm getting is when you went through your version of your awakening and you started connecting with source and doing some of this internal work on your own in your own way, then it was like you two in the quantum realm are looking at each other and like, oh shit, look who fucking showed up. And it's funny because like your human self is so worried about how this person is going to react to you, receive you, if they're going to receive you. And it's just so funny because I'm seeing a feminine just like beside themselves, just like holy shit. I never would have guessed you would be the one that woke up and joined, but it makes so much sense and like I'm so excited. And so it's just funny because it's one of these like the feminine is ready and it's just kind of, they're doing their thing, right? They're listening to their guidance and, soul purpose and all that stuff. And then they're just like, I fucking see you though. Like, you gonna do it or no? And so there's like a playful kind of banter. It's really fun. And so it's interesting because at the human level, you're like kind of freaking out still a little bit and just like, how do I do this? And is this really it? And would this person really be on board? And so on and so forth. And the feminine's like, so like, and I'm hearing so funny. It's okay. Some okay. All right. I'm hearing something about like that's the original. Like that's the original. So you are I feel like you're going to be surprised on how your feminine actually views you. I feel like that's ultimately the message here. Um but if just to kind of put some understanding on why all of a sudden you're getting this call, it could have to do with this soul contract being revamped, we could say. Could have something to do with your feminine being aware that you're awake and being called in. Um, it could be both, could be all of the above. So just yeah, do your best to get like with love and respect. Do your best to get out of your own way and allow yourself to just take a breath and just do it. Because you're gonna be oh so happy with the happy card on the bottom of the deck. And yes, this is a connection that can go the distance, and you do already know that. And yeah, you have unfinished business with this person. And yes, this is the person that you feel at home with. That sense of like feeling at home with another person. This is that person. And stop overthinking it. Like with all due respect, stop overthinking it because what you have Oh, what you have on the other side of this is absolutely beautiful. The potential here is massive. Okay, for some of you, you could be worried about a cycle repeat with this person. I don't feel like that's really going to happen though, because you're just in such a different energy. So I had to pause it for a minute. All right. Um, yeah, I do feel like there might be a part of you that's worried about a cycle repeat with this person, that it would things would happen in a similar way. And I feel like that's a worry. I feel like at this point, you both are at the point where you could work through some of these things together. And a lot of what was a factor when you first met this person isn't a factor anymore. So take that however it resonates for you. Maybe it could be anything. So there's things that are different now, regardless of how long ago this was for you. There's enough of an energetic difference that it's not going to be a cycle repeat when it comes to this person, when it comes to this situation. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah. I feel like the other thing here that you're not fully seeing yet is that actually you and this person reconciling, because some of you, we did start off the reading with that happy family energy, so I feel like that is for a lot of you what you're desiring, is to actually come together and have it all with this person, like life partner kind of stuff, where it's like this is your spouse, your business partner, your, it's your life partner, or just long term if you're not into marriage, whatever. um it's really this energy of you and this person have this potential to completely put ends to other cycles in your life as well. Fully pull off that, like that wheel of karma, and then fully shift over here into the wheel of dharma, basically, which is where you're aware of how these things work. And so you're not engaging in these karmic cycles in the way that you used to. If you find yourself in a karmic cycle, you can catch it pretty quick and do what's necessary to make it as least painful as possible and not last for years. So it's really it's about a completely different way of living life is really what is here for you. And what you don't realize is you have actually called this in. And now it's like the universe is saying, hey, we've got what you want, we've got what you desire, and it's everything you desire and then some. And it's like, oh shit, like when the universe starts to over deliver, it can be a little like, it will push up against some of that worthiness shit, it'll push up against some of those inner wounds that aren't fully healed. It pushes up against it because it's expanding you. And so it's one of these things where it's like, okay, look at look at this last little bit here, tap into it and know that you are worthy and you're deserving of what you are desiring, and allow the universe to bless you. This is the universe attempting to bless you in a very big way. And there's a part of you that's just not seeing it fully. And sometimes that is by design. Sometimes you're not going to see the entirety of the situation until you take those steps. And it's by design because we learn a lot through experience. And we also push through some of those fears and things. And then we see on the other side why we were called to push through that. Okay. We've got first chakra and peace. I feel like what you're really calling in right now is this peace energy. And this is something you want to experience in the physical world. So the base chakra, the root chakra, sits at the base of the spine. The color's red. It has to do with our physical world. So it's survival, it's thrival, it's experiencing, it's your physical reality. So it's what's manifested in the physical realm. So I feel like what you are calling in is peace. You want to be at peace. You want to have a peaceful connection. You want to have a peaceful life, more or less. And this is the universe attempting to deliver this to you in a very beautiful way. And so it's one of those things like, I can sit here and I can tell you all the day long what's on the other side of this. I can tell you all the day long what's going on in this situation. There's still going to be a part of you that isn't fully going to actually believe it until you take these action steps and find out for yourself. So remember that as well. There's a point where you're kind of just gonna have to get to it where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go find this out for myself. And yeah, Jiminy Christmas. Um, wow. Um, listen to your heart. That was follow your heart. Just extra confirmation. This is a mirrored energy. This is a mirrored soul. Um, and so in that the dynamics are a little bit different because there can be an energetic push-pull. Um, eh, mm, okay. Give me a second. Okay, so with this mirrored energy, it inserts an interesting dynamic. So it can cause a runner chaser dynamic. So when one person is chasing the other runs. And then when the other person chases the other, that one runs. And this is an energetic thing. So what I'm getting is for a while you might have been the runner. You might have initially like I just heard cut and run. Like you might have ran from this connection and then sometimes that polarity will flip. And then so you might now be more in that chaser energy of I'm gonna like I'm gonna chase you now. And so if you've been in that energy of like runner chaser and then you're feeling your feminine's energy pull back a little bit, that's why. It's not a rejection, it's a response to the energy dynamic. So what this tells me is you have a very high level soul connection with this person. Um and when that happens, it's not the best thing to do is not to interpret that as rejection. This isn't because I'm not feeling rejection from this person at all when it comes to you. It's just it can kind of naturally like energetically do that shift. So if you're like if you start chasing this person and if you've been kind of like energetically locked onto this person and really thinking about them and wanting to go towards them, and then, it's triggering every fucking wound within you, because that's been happening on your feminine side too. I can fucking assure you that it has been. There's a reason for that because there's a certain energy that we are required to be in before we can actually lock in a union of this magnitude in the physical realm. And so that's part of the reason you've been so heavily activated recently. And if you're just like, I'm losing my mind, I'm fucking like, I'm getting, for some of you, I just heard something about an emotional tap turning on. So maybe all of a sudden you find yourself like just maybe you find yourself crying for the first time in years. Maybe you're just like emotional when it comes to the situation. And then sometimes that can bleed into other areas of life. All of a sudden you're feeling emotions about things and you normally don't feel emotional about it. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? It's because you're being activated at a very deep level. And so it's understanding that dynamic. And then the other thing that I heard, and that's when I paused it and I was like, hold on, what I heard is the feminine is no longer running. So the feminine isn't chasing, so it's not repelling you and it's not pushing you to run. And then the feminine is not running. And so, and this is kind of an interesting thing that can happen is when you become fully aware of the dynamic and what's going on and so on and so forth, then it gets to this point where sometimes you'll feel your person kind of start to chase and instead of naturally recoiling and being like fuck 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 fuck, um, and again, it's not a rejection. It's not that they don't want you because this person, like, I can feel it in the energy. They want you as much as you want them, hence the mirrored energy. So the way that you desire this person is the way that they desire you, whether you are aware of that or not. it is what it is. It is. This person, and I'm hearing, okay, I just heard a masculine say something like, why would they want me, or something like that. So there's still that little bit of worthiness. There's still that little bit of like, well, this person doesn't this person doesn't know certain things about my past, or this person doesn't know this, or blah 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 blah. Fine. Okay. Funnily enough, feminine actually might know more than you realize. And then there's also the aspect of the a divine feminine can comprehend things at a very deep level, and has the understanding of energy dynamics, and knows how certain uh, dynamics can pull out different parts of you, and so on and so forth. So again, it's not about what you've done. It's not about what you haven't done. It's not about how you handled this connection in the past. It's not about how you didn't handle this connection in the past. It's what have you learned? What's your awareness now? What are you willing to do to ensure that you could continue to keep this connection sustained in the physical realm? That's the biggest thing is, okay, the past is the past. Let it be. What about now? And it's one of those like, regardless of whatever it is, if addictions, I just heard addictions. So maybe it was addictions, maybe it was something like that. It's whatever. Maybe it's, how you showed up in karmic connections. Maybe it's, you choosing to do a career that you thought that you had to do in order to pay the bills, and now you're like, oh, I wanted to actually do this thing, or whatever it is, it that isn't as big of a thing as where are you at now, what are you willing to do now, are you on board, are you on the path, are you aware, and are you ready for this? If the answers to those are like, yes, I'm ready and I'm willing, and if I have a chance with this person, I'm going to do whatever is in my power to ensure that I can maintain this connection. And then your person is on the same page when it comes to that, fucking go get them. Like, go get your person. And that's the thing, too, is to understand that you have an effect on this person that probably nobody else has. And so you might not realize that because you've only experienced your person from your perspective. And so you might not understand what you actually do to this person on an energetic level. You might not understand what perfect qualities you actually have for this person. You might not understand that if your person were to make a list of everything they desired, you check off all those boxes right this minute. So allow yourself to kind of sit in that, and don't get egotistical about it. Don't get all cocky about it. It's just tap into that confidence energy of like, okay, if this person is my mirrored soul and I'm desiring them in this way and they're desiring me in the same way, and we actually are perfectly matched and compatible in a lot of areas of life, and we're complementary in areas where it makes sense to be complementary. Okay, it's divine. There's a divine connection here. So allow yourself to shift more into that perspective, tap into that confidence energy, and then go towards this person. And the funny thing is, when I said tap into that confidence, it's interesting because I feel like you're naturally a more confident person. Crap. Excuse me. Freaking sneezed out of absolutely nowhere. I was trying to pause it. Didn't have time. Okay. Anyways, confirmation. What the fuck was I saying? Um, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay. I feel like you are confident in other areas of life. It's just when it comes to this person, it kind of triggers some of that shadow aspect of it, like not feeling confident enough for this person, not feeling worthy enough, whatever it is. Um, the thing is that's it's being triggered so that you can look at it and you can understand where it's coming from. And there's a reason that this person triggers that within you. And it's funny because you actually trigger that in this person as well. So there has been a period of time where both of you have been working through like this worthiness wound and fear of rejection from this person, because honestly, being rejected is, it's never pleasant, but being rejected by this person, it hits different. And so that is part of this. And it's allowing yourself to know that you're going to be okay on the other side of it, regardless if they reject you or not. And funnily enough, I don't feel like they're going to. So, okay. Okay. So I'm being called to talk about something completely fucking random. Um, okay, so I paused it to blow my nose for the umpteenth time. Um, which is definitely like the communication energy getting ready to flow. On that note, what I was hearing before we go off on a total fucking random side note that literally doesn't have anything to do with this message, but maybe it does. Sometimes I think things are not related, and then come to find out they actually are. Okay, so the main thing is, I feel like I'm speaking to a masculine who has not trusted their heart, has not trusted listening to their heart. And the thing is, one, I totally feel you. Like it's a process to get to the point where you're trusting your heart. This right here is it's going to be a beautiful confirmation for you on what can happen when you listen to your heart. So when you listen to your heart and you communicate with this person, reconcile whatever you're being called to do when it comes to this mirrored soul. This is a very high level soulmate. You know who I'm talking about. And when you allow yourself to finally go home is what I just heard, and finish what you started. And I just got chills on all of that. Which is extra confirmation when you allow yourself to actually go towards this person, reconcile, do whatever you're being called to do, it's going to be a beautiful confirmation for you on what happens when you listen to your heart. And so this might be the first time you're ever actually truly trusting and listening to your heart. And the thing is, the heart is not going to lead you astray. And we are trained and conditioned to listen to our mind, listen to logic, do all of that first. And the thing is there is a place for logic. There is a time to use logic and to use, discernment and all of those things and really look at things from that logical mental aspect. There are other times when you are being guided to listen to your heart over your mind, because your heart knows more than the mind. And there's actual science behind this now. There's actual studies where they've studied like the energy from the heart space versus like brain power and things like that. It's fascinating. Um, but the heart picks up on things before the mind does. And, the heart is what is calling you. That is what is leading you in this direction of living the life that, of your dreams, really. And this is a beautiful confirmation for you to see just what can fucking happen when you allow yourself to ignore some of that fear and follow your heart. Okay. Now we're gonna go on a random fucking side tangent. So I got sent a freaking meme, and I'm being guided to share it. Don't know why, but it's of a squirrel sitting on a grave. And it says, when you say you're just going to look at one grave and suddenly it's 4 hours later, you've made six ghost friends and you're emotionally attached to a stranger from 1852. Okay. You really want to have fun, you really want to see, like, you want to have some ghost experiences, take a psychic ghost hunting with you. It's really fun. Anyways, scared the shit out of my daughter unintentionally. We had actual contact made in a fucking public bathroom in a restaurant a few months back. Anyways, so yeah, maybe ghost hunting is something that you're interested in. I don't know. Very random. I asked about 15 times. I was like, is this really? This is a very fucking random side note. But here we are. So maybe you want to go ghost hunting. Um, anyways, maybe you've had experiences with the paranormal. It's fucking wild. I'll tell you that much. It's a wild experience. Um, okay. Anything else about this whole situation? Listening to the heart. Yeah, that's ultimately the main thing here is allowing yourself to listen to your heart. Ah, and allowing yourself to listen to your heart, which is guiding you through the door to personal healing and happiness. Like, if you're looking for happiness, peace, feeling blessed, getting off of some of these karmic cycles, so on and so forth, listen to your heart. Um, we've got strategy. This is talking about planning. So maybe you're working on a plan when it comes to this situation. Again, the message here is you can have a plan, come up with a plan, sure. And also do your best not to lock into it because this is going to be a flow state kind of situation. This is going to be one of those you can have it planned out to a T and it's gonna go a little bit differently. That's just it is what it is. Especially you're co-creating with another person, so anytime you're co-creating with another person, the way that you think it's going to go, it's always going to go just a little bit differently for the most part because of that. Especially we're talking conscience creators, and so yeah, it's gonna be a little bit different. So it's one of those like have a plan, maybe, get prepared, have you some, notes or whatever you're called to do. And then also simultaneously allow yourself not to get too attached to that plan, to it needing to go that certain way. Because again, we're talking matters of the heart. This is something that is it's just gonna flow. And so know that as well. Like have a plan, but don't be like committed to that plan. And don't need it to actually go exactly according to your plan because it's probably not going to go exactly according to plan. Um, and it's not that it's one of these things like I feel like the desired outcome here that you have when it comes to this is still going to be close to what you are desiring. So, like those big things, if you're desiring and really feeling called to this person and you're desiring them to be your life partner, I feel like you're still going to get there. It just might look a little different. Like the path might look a little bit different. Maybe you're thinking like, okay, we'll do this. And then after this amount of time, we can look at doing this. And then after this amount of time, we can look at doing that. And then all of a sudden you start communicating with this person. And then maybe it takes a little bit to get going. Maybe it takes a few months and you're just talking and communicating due to, external stuff. And then all of a sudden it just takes off. And, your original plan of how you were thinking things were going to progress, within 6 months, you're, living together. Like, again, take it as it resonates. I just got chills on that one. So maybe that's confirmation for somebody. Um, but it's one of those things like, yes, have a plan and also do your best not to need to stick to that plan. Because again, this is a heart-led journey. And when you're on that heart-led journey, you can come up with like, I want it to be this way, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. And then the universe is like, well, how about you go here and then we'll bring you this and this and this and this and this. And then it completely changes things because now instead of like okay, well, after I stay at this job for this long, then I can have enough to do this thing. And then you connect with this person, and then all of a sudden, within the first year, you're able to quit that job and you've got resources coming in from a completely unexpected source or things like that, and it up levels your finances in a way that you weren't expecting. And so now that's going to change your entire plan because now instead of like, oh, okay, we'll do this and then we'll save and then we'll do this and then we'll save and then we'll do this and then we'll save, all of a sudden it's like, how about you don't have to worry about it like that? Now you're looking at finances in a very different way. Now you're looking at, okay, what the fuck can we invest in so we don't get bent over at tax time? That kind of thing. So again, don't limit yourself. Don't limit the situation. You know, don't put those limitations on there when it comes to things needing to be a certain way because the divine's got ways of making things happen when you're in alignment that will take you completely by surprise. You know, like this fucking situation. Am I right? Blossoming abundance. Just yep, there it is. So yeah, there is something here with finances as well and like your actual physical reality. And for some of you, it's one of these things like if you allow yourself to communicate with this person, reconcile, and then whatever happens from there happens from there. And this might be a situation where you look back in 6 months to a year and you're like, fuck, I could not have even guessed that we would be at this level already. Like, especially 'cause there's soul purpose here too. In this type of connection, there's a shared soul purpose. And when you align with soul purpose and you're giving back and you're in that sense of living your purpose on a regular basis, doors open that you weren't even aware were there. So just know that. Um, that one. Breathe. Breathe. Take some breaths. Everything is working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. All is well. Your desires desire you. Remember that. What you desire desires you. Yep, it's time to allow yourself to walk this journey. And what I'm getting is this is a phase of life where you are being given the gift of not walking it completely alone. So I could be speaking to another fellow lone wolf out there. Um, this next phase of life is one where you're not going to have to walk this completely alone anymore, which is just beautiful. It really, really is. There's the happy family card again, and all tied up. Okay. So the all tied up card is talking about kind of being in like it's kind of like a mental prison a little bit. And you could be in that mental prison when you're really thinking about this. Is it, yeah, confirmation. Is it too good to be true? Would this person really want to lock things down with me? So on and so forth. Again, that's a worry, it's a fear. And so just know that. In this energy, it's mutual. It really is, especially with this magician in the mirror card out here, it's mutual. There's a mutual desire to come together with each other and, have long-term commitment. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's time to communicate. Holy moly. Boy, just all the communication energy is trying to flow. So, and that's the other thing too, is like I feel like you're gonna feel so much better when you just allow yourself to talk about this and reconcile and communicate. Yeah, there's the community card. For some of you, there's a concern with how people around you are going to respond to this or react to this. And then there's also this energy of community up leveling and really walking this journey with like-minded people. And again, this might be where, you've got your person, this person that you've got your eyes on right now. It's like maybe you live together with this person and you two are on the same page. And then maybe it's not that you have a whole lot of like friends in the physical realm that you hang out with all the time, but like you're meeting people through like online and stuff like that. And so it's like cultivating a community of like-minded people, but sometimes these communities, were scattered around the globe. So it might be something like maybe part of you is going to build a safe container for like-minded individuals online. Some of you, maybe you're being called to like coach other people, something like that. So there is definitely that element of more like-minded people coming into your life, and then also soul purpose. There's definitely soul purpose that's coming through this energy as well. Oh, I just got an interesting download. Okay, for some of you, you're looking at your person and you're like, this person could get anybody that they want. There's another community card. This person could get anybody that they want. Why would they want me? Or something like that. That's kind of the energy that I was just picking up on. And then it's this thing of like, remember the way that you view your person, this is your mirrored soul. You view your person in a little bit different of a way than other people. The other thing too, it requires a certain type of person to be able to actually be what a divine feminine needs. And you at the soul level automatically already have this divine feminine, what your divine feminine, you already internally have what is necessary for this person. So again, stop selling yourself short. Like, and I'm getting a little bit of idealization. It's funny because it's going both ways. And so there is this idealization, but it's not necessarily, it's not because you're not seeing your person clearly. It's because you are fully seeing your person and you're just like, wow, they went through some shit and then they did some things and then they, transmuted it and then they, are rising or whatever. It's like there's this sense, it's interesting in the energy. It's one of these, I feel like you can feel that your feminine is like in the midst of like this glow up energy. Like they're shifting into, I just heard like boss mode or something. So it's one of those things, like you can feel that your person is shifting and rising, and what you might not be fully interpreting clearly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. What you might not be fully interpreting clearly is the fact that you're being called up and you're actually doing some of this internal work in shifting and aligning and doing all of these things. What that is that is you rising to meet your person, and then you two get to rise together from this point forward if you allow yourself to close this gap. And so that could be something here that you're not fully seeing, is like, yes, your person might be rising, but the thing is you have this opportunity to join them and rise with them. And the thing is well, actually just a lot of awakened people in general. It doesn't matter if it's feminine or masculine. There's a lot of people that will gravitate to awakened souls that try and drop that vibration, try and, plug into their energy and drain it, or try and dim their light and things like that. This is an energy where it's like, I feel like you're not blinded by your person's light, and your person isn't blinded by yours either. It's one of those, like, it's just you both see each other fully and clearly, and the light and the dark aspects of each other. And it's one of those, like, respecting, that all sides of each other, and then really being able to help level each other up on a consistent basis and continue to tap into that authenticity, and and just be your best version on a regular basis. That in and of itself is just astronomical. It really is. Mending. Okay. So yeah, there is this beautiful opportunity here for you to mend this connection, for you to reconcile, for you to come into harmony with this person, and actually, have this union energy. I mean, it's here. It's in this energy. I can feel it. It's like you both are desiring this. And now is the time to allow your heart to speak louder than your mind, and allow yourself to follow that guidance versus listening to all the logical reasons on why you shouldn't, or why this person wouldn't want you, or why whatever. Whatever that fear is telling you, whatever those anxious thoughts are telling you, whatever that naysayer in the mind is telling you on why to not do it, pull into your heart space and go, okay, what is my heart guiding me towards? And if you tap in your heart space and you feel that pull and it's pulling you to your person, follow it. Yeah, an angel of balance. So you are getting divine assistance on balancing out this situation right now. So just know that. I'm hearing you're going to be very surprised to learn the journey that your person walked to get to this point in order to reconnect with you. And then probably vice versa. I'm sure your feminine is probably going to be like, damn, And that's the thing too, is like, yeah, just okay, I'm okay. Okay. Sometimes I get insight and I'm not allowed to say it And so I just got a little insight. I'm not fully allowed to say it because you're being asked to go find out for yourself. Just know a lot of the fears and the anxieties that you have when it comes to connecting with your person right now are going to be just null and void pretty quick. And there is that message too of for this collective, talk to your person. So if you can see them in person, do that. But it's one of those things like, maybe it starts as like you text or whatever, and it's like a text type format, and then get this person on the phone. And that's come through before. There's extra confirmation. That's come through before. Get your person on the phone. And so it may be just something like, hey, I would really like to talk to you. Would you be interested in talking to me? Yes. Okay, cool. And then talk on the phone. And it may be kind of like awkward or something at first and just like, hey, how have you been? How have you been? And then it gets a little awkward. But then it's one of these things like you're going to be able to tell by your person's voice in just with their energy. Like when you're talking to them, even on the phone, you're going to be able to tell. Like it's going to help settle a lot of this fear and anxiety that you have. And it's not even going into this deep heart to heart conversation right away. It's just like, I'm getting this vision of like the moment you say, hello or hey or whatever it is, the moment you exchange just a couple words, because this is such an energetic connection, the moment you say those first couple words, it's like you are instantly going to know exactly where your person is when it comes to you. So allow yourself to give yourself that gift, is what I'm hearing, because there's Oh, that's a bold statement, Spirit. What I heard was there's no way you're going to walk away from this conversation feeling anything but blessed. Whoa. Okay. So I don't like making statements like that because the future's not fixed. We're talking about co-creating. We're talking about two humans coming together and having a conversation. When spirit comes through with statements like that, that's pretty profound. So there you fucking have it. Um, and apparently that's what we're ending on. Well, yeah, yeah. I'm really getting the energy of like allow yourself to take this action towards your person. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a certain way, whatever. It's more about the action of actually just taking those steps to reconnect with this person in the physical realm. And once you allow yourself to do that, it's like everything's just going to flow from there. So a lot of these anxieties, a lot of these worries, a lot of this overly planning, really stuck up in your head, really thinking about it needing to be a certain way, and all of that mental chatter just quiets. So allow yourself to give yourself this gift of finding out for yourself from your person and feeling that energy of being blessed on the other side of this. And it's like one conversation. And okay, I'm seeing another thing that's really interesting. So I'm seeing this energy of like you two are on the phone and then you hang up and then both of you just like are just cheesing ear to ear and then you just kind of like fall back. Like I saw like a feminine fall back on their bed and just like lay there like holy shit. And then I'm seeing a masculine just kind of like fall back on the couch. I don't know why there's this I don't know why they specified that. I almost could say that word. Um, but it's like the masculine just like you just like hang up the phone and just like lean back on your couch and you're just like, holy fucking shit. So yeah, yeah. Allow yourself to experience this. That would be my recommendation anyways. Um, Alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to leave this here. I hope this helps. If this resonates, you can let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about it. Feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. I will see you on the next message. Bye.